What's your name?
I'm Philip Farmer,
Okay.
and I'm a neighbor down the street. I'm a mechanic as well, and Dave invited me over to help him install this airbag kit on his truck that I recommended. We have a previous video of us initially opening the box, and the first concern was, well, it was in a second box, and just judging from the outside, I explained that, well, possibly due to the weight of the box, they can get damaged in the warehouse. They sometimes double up the box. Well, after removing the box, we did notice, like we suspected, the weight damaged the box. There's obviously some reinforcement, but upon further inspection, you can see where previous packing slips were taped and removed.
Let me get that on the tape here real good.
So
yeah, there was another packing slip on
clearly
there.
Whether it was UPS or
right.
whatever it might have been, there's a previous packing slip on the box that was removed.
Are you able to peel that piece back slowly?
Yeah, so here on this side you can see where the new packing slip has been.
Well, what I mean is this old one here, if you peel that back slowly, we might be able to see who bought it before us, or before I did.
Looks like I might be able to.
If it starts ripping, just leave it alone, because we'll save it for a expert witness, somebody at the court to, yeah, that's going to just start wrecking it. So let's leave that alone, and we'll just leave that as evidence. But obviously there was a different, that in and of itself shows that this has been shipped previously. Would you agree?
Yes. As of now, we don't know if this relates to a distribution center or if this was due to the previous shipment. It says Northeast Fulfillment Center, Constitution Avenue, New York, but that does not look like a new packing, especially since it was actually shipped, and you can see our tag has been placed on the outer box.
Right. Yeah, so why would there even be a tag on the inner box? That's right.
So clearly, for starters,
let's look inside the box here, because what I see is a lot of dirt, grease. I'm seeing a lot of what appears to be dirt and grease, and a lot of parts just dumped in the box.
So you can see here, this bag has clearly been handled.
Opened.
It was first torn open, as I would if I bought something and was ready to remove the hardware and start installing.
Let me see that label on there. Okay.
So this is a part identification tag for the
But this has clearly
hardware.
been just ripped open. And
not only here, but for the larger parts, they also tore the top open.
Yeah.
And then it's dumped in the bottom for us for its next shipment.
Okay. And these are some of the parts that were in the box.
So, again, looking at the parts too, there's clear damage to the powder coat.
Yeah.
And
Which
that's typical to somebody placing the part on the concrete of their garage.
Yeah, so that's obviously not new from the factory.
So it takes a drop or something on concrete to damage powder coat like that.
Right.
Even if you're installing it on your truck, handling it yourself, bumping it into another piece of metal will not cause that damage. Especially since it's clear that it's on corners, places it was sat down.
Hold that still so I can zoom in on that. Yeah, that's definitely damaged there.
So anybody that knows powder coat knows that that's especially on a corner, you have to drop that on concrete to damage that.
Okay. So that's another piece of evidence that this is not new from Firestone. We'll contact Firestone, ask Firestone if this is how they ship their products new with that
And
kind of
then-
damage.
So some of the other parts,
See a
not
piece
as
of-
damaged.
Well, there's a piece of damage right on that part right there.
Right.
There's a nick in the powder coating, which, you know, again tells me that this has been opened and handled, opened and dropped. There's several nicks on this piece right here.
And then specifically, what catches my eye is damage that could have been caused by fitment, taking this part and placing it
You
against.
can't move it around like that because the camera won't follow it. Okay, what are we talking about?
So we have some wear marks here that look like it could be damage to fitment, trying to.
Oh yeah, that has actually been mounted, hasn't it?
It doesn't look like it's been physically mounted. Typically when you do any bolt holes, if any hardware is placed
Right.
on there and torqued, it will.
But that's definitely not new.
Right, so it'll inevitably, you'll be able to see the bolt head wear marks if it was physically attached to the vehicle, but this is worn, scraping, abrasion from possibly fitting it up to your truck.
Right.
They may have thought that it didn't fit their truck, or for whatever reason, they decided they weren't going to keep it. And
Right.
return the
It's
item.
obviously been opened and returned. It's been opened, attempted to be installed, and returned.
And then there's just an incredible amount of dirt, debris.
Let's hold it nice and steady. Yeah. And now just slowly turn it. Yeah. I don't know what all that dirt is, you know, but yeah, that's filthy. I can't believe that that's like how they ship it new from the factory. I can't imagine it having that much crud all over it. The other one dirty like that?
And again, I mean, I could pour dirt out of this bag.
Really?
That was when we removed the instructions.
So the instructions have been opened
Yes.
where they really should be in a sealed bag. And that bag has been cut open.
Yeah, this looks like it's serrated
Yeah.
and pulled open. Again, whether from handling or poor packaging, there's basically every single part here has some kind of wear.
Yeah, well, and I don't think that's from the Firestone factory. I don't think they package stuff
No, this all should
that
have,
recklessly.
like the new box we received, this all should have came in some kind of parchment paper packing.
Right.
Each part would have been wrapped. Obviously this isn't something fragile that needs to be bubble wrapped or anything, but they do wrap it in some kind of cardboard or paper to prevent it from being scratched like this.
Yeah, well, one of the real telltale signs is that one piece where you showed the scratches and stuff of it actually being mounted.
Right, and then just to this quality of powder coat from factory, for it to be damaged as badly as one of our parts here, it takes a good drop or
Yeah,
to chip that down back down.
it definitely is not new. Okay. All right, well, we showed from the beginning of just opening the box, and now we are showing all the damage to the parts. Today is July 17th, 2015, and this is from SDTruckSprings.com. We have called American Express and let them know that there's a problem with this order. So we'll have to see what SD Springs wants to do. But I purchased brand new And even on their packing slip, they are showing that it was inspected. There's 2 packing slips actually. There's where it was inspected, and grab the other one off my desk if you would.
Okay.
SDTruckSprings is the name of the company. Okay, so we have the packing slip. And this is for, I can't get that close. Gotta hold it back a little
So
bit.
both packing slips have 2 items.
Well, hold that one up there.
This is the packing slip removed from the wireless controller kit and compressor. Again, it's been inspected and verified.
Yeah, and now hold up the other one.
And this is
And
the
be
packing
careful
slip.
not to get too many of your fingerprints on that, because they may want to do forensics and fingerprints on these documents as well as the parts, because those parts probably have fingerprints on them. That because this could potentially be criminal fraud, because it is interstate transportation, and that is definitely a falsely made and forged document to say that this is a new kit. So we may contact the U.S. Postal Service, UPS, and we may make a report with the FBI.
So we've yet to inventory the parts. It could be worse. We could be also missing parts.
Well, yeah, we don't.
So we'll inventory
say
the
that
parts
once
as
again.
well. So we haven't inventoried the parts either, just because this is in complete disarray. But
Right.
we'll inventory the parts, and there could be missing parts, which is by far the worst thing they can do as well.
Well, the worst thing they can do is ship something that they sold and charged as new, knowing that this is not new. And there's no way that they could possibly have not known. I mean, look at the box itself. You can tell that this is just a used set. So we'll also probably contact, these are made by Firestone, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll contact Firestone and we will register a complaint with them as well. All right. Thank you very much, Phil. Wonderful
All right.
job.